Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of my Sephora VIB sale recommendations. Instead of just sitting here and talking to you guys about the products, I thought it would be really fun to do a full face so you can see everything in action, and I will definitely explain why I recommend each of the products as we go along, but I really wanted to do this kind of style of video, and hopefully you guys will find it helpful if you're looking to buy something during the sale. I know I always get excited about the Sephora VIB sale because makeup doesn't go on sale too often, and when it does, I love to take advantage of it. So here is the before and after if you guys want to see exactly the look that we're going to be creating today. I'm using all of my current favorite products from Sephora, so I'm really excited. Let's just jump right into it. I've already done my brows off camera. I use the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. This is like my top brow pencil when it comes to a high-end brow pencil. I don't know, this one just lasts on my brows really well. I used the shade 4. They just recently expanded their shade range as well, so if you haven't been able to find a good shade for you, maybe check it out again because maybe one of their new shades will work better for you. But anyways, let's do the eyes first. I'm gonna go into my current favorite high-end concealer. I feel like the VIB sale is gonna be a really great time for you to try this out if you haven't yet, because I promise you, it's better than the Shape Tape, in my opinion, okay? This is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. Now, I always get 2 shades of my favorite concealers, just so that I have something that matches my skin tone a little more for blemishes, and then something that's a little bit lighter for under the eye area and down the center of the face if I want to. Also, if you're not aware of the Sephora VIB sale, I'll just have like the dates down below, and I'll have all the info for you down below because it's a little bit confusing. It depends on your like status at Sephora, if you're a Rouge or a VIB member or a Beauty Insider. The sale dates start at different times, and also you get a different percentage off depending on where you are. So I'll have all that listed for you down below to make it a little bit easier. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend out this concealer with a brush, and then I'm gonna pat it out with a sponge. I'm just gonna set that with a little bit of translucent powder. I'm gonna tell you about the powder later, but for now I just wanna kind of set the concealer so we have a nice base for eyeshadow. Okay, so when I was thinking about eyeshadow palettes that I wanted to recommend to you guys, 2 came to mind. One being the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. I feel like this is something that really works for so many people. It just has the best colors in here. It has good warm tones. You can also do something that's a little bit more pink. You can do like a true bronze look. You can do a smoky eye using like this matte black here. So this is one of my very, very favorite palettes. I've done several looks here on my channel using this palette, but I did want to mention it because if you're looking for a good new palette and you just don't know what to look for, I feel like this could be a good one for you. Another palette that I've loved recently is the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. So if you're into more pink tones, this would definitely be the one that I would recommend for you. It is so good. I love this palette so much, and I feel like it took me a minute to purchase it because it's more on the pricey end, but after I did, it's so worth it. And so I feel like if you're really into these rosy pink tones, this would be a palette you would love. Did I say 2 palettes? I meant 3 because I have another palette that I really wanted to use today, and this is one that is such an investment, but oh my goodness, I'm pretty sure it's my all-time favorite eyeshadow palette, and I love all sorts of eyeshadow palettes, but this one, anytime anybody comes over and comes into my beauty room and I'm like showing them eyeshadows, I always pull this out and I'm like, look at this, and I open it and they're like, oh my gosh, and I'm like, feel free to swatch, and they do, and they fall in love as well. It's the Natasha Denona Gold palette. You guys, truly nothing is as beautiful as this in my opinion. I love this, and if you're into just classic gold or bronze tones, you're gonna love this. And also these greenish blue colors over here are to die for. This is the palette that I'm going to be using in today's tutorial because I don't think I've used it in a proper tutorial. I know I've worn it in certain videos, but I wanted to use it so you guys can see how truly beautiful it is. This is another palette that's worth every penny. And I feel like when things are on sale, sometimes it's good to go for the things that you normally wouldn't spend the money on because it's on sale, you know? So let's dive into this palette. We're going to start off by going into this shade right here. This is called Aria, and I'm just going to go ahead and use this as our transition shade, starting in the crease and then kind of buffing it up toward the brow once there's less product on the brush. These mattes are so buttery and they blend out like a dream. I'm obsessed. Once I feel like both eyes look similar as possible, I'm gonna dip into this shade right here, and this one is called Teak, and this is a slightly deeper brown, so I'm gonna use this on the outer corner of the eye just to kind of build a little bit of definition and dimension on that outer corner. These are my absolute favorite. Oh, look how those are blending together. I can't. It's so pretty. So I really want to show you guys this shade right here. It's one of the most unique eyeshadows I've ever seen. It's called Brass, and I like to apply this with my finger. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip my finger into the pan. It is the prettiest greenish gold. Oh, do you see this? I I can't even describe how much I love this eyeshadow. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? Oh, wow. Okay, wow. I didn't even use a wet brush or a glitter glue and it looks completely foiled on my eyelids. I love this. All right, next I'm dipping into Python, which is the pretty blue. And I'm just using the tiniest bit of this on the outer corner of the eye. I just really wanted to incorporate a little bit more of the blue tones on the outer corner. So I'm gonna use that to further deepen this area up right here. I think that looks so pretty. So another one of my favorite colors in here is this one right here. This is called Lime Chrome. It's just cool. I love this one. So I'm gonna put this more toward the inner corner, I think. I wanna see how it looks. I might do that thing that I've been doing recently where I kind of take it from the inner corner and trace the very top part of the lid. It just creates something different when you turn your eyes. I don't know, I've just been really into putting eyeshadow there, so I'm just gonna kind of layer that right here in an arch, and then I am gonna kind of pile it more in the inner corner. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see it, but I wanna take this shade right here. A lot of these work best with your finger. This is more of just like a topper in my opinion. It looks gorgeous as a wash all over the lid with like minimal eyeshadow, but you can also use it on top of other eyeshadows just to add a tiny bit more sparkle. I'm not sure how well it will show up under these studio lights, but it's just gonna add a little bit more of a glittery finish to the lid. Ooh, I like where things are going. Okay, let's go ahead and clean up the under eye area. I'm just gonna use a makeup wipe and kind of go along the edge using my fingernail under the wipe just to create a little bit more of a precise shape. All right, so let's jump into the skin. I really wanted to talk about this moisturizer because I feel like it's another one of those products that really have made such a difference. And it's something that you can work into your current skincare routine, but it's also something that you can just use as almost like a primer. It really works so beautifully under makeup. It's the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. This is my favorite product that Tatcha has released. So I wanted to mention it in this video because if you haven't tried it yet, you definitely should. The littlest bit goes the longest way. So I'm just gonna apply this all over the skin. I can't explain this texture though. It is so nice. And it's also something that I think is gonna be really nice for all year round because it is super hydrating, but somehow under makeup, it never feels or looks greasy or oily. It just looks dewy. I don't know how they made this, but it is so good, you guys. I would highly recommend. If you're looking to buy more of a primer, I think this is my current favorite primer at Sephora. This is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I really love this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of this and I'm just gonna focus it kind of more on the T-zone, but after I get most of the product there, I do like to spread it out across the rest of the face. But this is one of those primers where I personally notice a difference in how my makeup wears throughout the day. Plus the packaging is really cute. I've just been really into this. The instructions say to wait like 1 minute for the primer to kind of activate and dry down. So I'm just gonna wait a second. All right, and for foundation, this is one of the foundations that I've really been recommending to almost everybody that asks me. This is just a good all-around trustworthy foundation in my opinion. It photographs really beautifully. It wears throughout the day really, really nicely. It's travel friendly. It is the Wander Beauty Nude Illusion Foundation. I have mine in the shade Fair Light and I love this. It's got a doe foot applicator, which is nice and convenient. So I just like to draw some stripes on my face. I'm gonna go ahead and buff it out with my Real Techniques buffing brush, but it just has a really nice finish. It's not dewy, it's not matte, it's somewhere right in between. It has been a go-to for me. You can build it up to get really good coverage if you want to, or if you want something a little bit more lightweight, just use less and it still looks so beautiful and natural on the skin. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys something. So my husband and I get Panda Express a lot. It's like one of the only restaurants that's super close to our house. And we kind of have this thing where at the end of our lunch or whatever, we both open our fortune cookies and we read them to each other. And over the past couple months, I feel like my husband always gets really cool fortunes. Like they always apply to him and I just get the weirdest ones. And I feel like I get just the weirdest fortunes. So the other day we had Panda Express for lunch and he had been telling me that it's all about my mindset. Like he was trying to tell me that if I had a negative mindset towards my fortune cookie before I open it, it's not gonna be good. It's all about perspective. And I'm like, okay, let's try it. So before I opened my cookie, I said, I feel like this is gonna be the best fortune yet. And he was like, I believe it. And I opened my cookie and I snap it in half and there was no fortune. There was no piece of paper in there and I lost it. I laughed so hard. We were both just like rolling on the floor laughing because I always have the worst luck. And like the time that I really was like, I have a good feeling about this, there was no fortune at all. So also I wanted to mention something about this foundation. When you first apply it, it looks good, but when I first used it, I was like, okay, that looks nice. It's when you wear it throughout the day that you really start to love it. So it just holds up so beautifully throughout the day. So if you're not like floored by the finish at the very beginning, like your skin's gonna look nice, but just give it several hours and you'll see what I mean. I love this foundation. Okay, let's go into concealer. I've got my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion. I'm gonna do the lighter shade underneath the eyes. I love the texture of this. It's just amazing. We'll do a little bit down the center of the face. And then I like to take my darker shade over blemishes that I want a little bit more coverage on. Okay, and then I like to blend out my blemishes first, and then I blend out the center of the face. This just smooths out my skin. It doesn't crease underneath my eyes. It's not overly drying or overly hydrating. It's just right in the middle. And everyone that tries it loves it so far. I haven't met anyone who's tried this and who said that they don't like it. All right, I really like how the complexion is looking. Let's set the face with powder. It's the Lawless Loose Setting Powder, and this is in the shade Classic Translucent. This powder, my friends, it's so good. I love this. And it just so happens to be a clean beauty brand. It's a talc-free formula, and I love it. So I'm gonna use this to set the face. I'm gonna make sure there's no creases underneath the eyes first, and then I'm just gonna press it underneath the eye area. Can you see that on camera? It like basically blurs your entire under eye area, and it's just the best. I love this. Obviously, I love everything I'm talking about, but this is just so good. If you haven't tried the Laura Mercier setting powder, I feel like the sale would be a good time to do that. If you have, but you're looking for maybe something different, this would be an amazing one to check out. I'm just gonna go in with that same powder, just with a larger brush, and I'm gonna use that to lock in the rest of the face. Oh, dang it. You guys, I really wanted to use my Milk Makeup Bronzer, and I just locked in the whole face. Okay, well, dang, it's probably way too late to try to use it, but I'm gonna try to use it. Just on the forehead, because I didn't really lock in the areas that I normally put this bronzer. But I wanted to talk about this because it's incredible. I love this cream bronzer. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you pick it up if you haven't tried it yet. Especially as we're moving into spring and summer, I just feel like a cream bronzer is a great thing to have in your collection, and this one has never steered me wrong. It comes in 2 shades, so you can choose whichever one would suit your skin tone best. But it just looks so natural on the skin. You know what? I've actually never applied this over top of powder, and I'm pleasantly surprised at how well it's applying. It's not perfect because obviously, you know, technically you're not supposed to apply bronzer on top of powder. Cream products on top of powder, I guess I should say, but I really wanted to show you, so here we are. And truly, I feel like it looks pretty good. I'm gonna apply it a little bit down the neck and along the jawline. I'm just gonna lightly take my sponge to try to blend that out a little bit. Not too shabby, considering I set the whole face with powder before going into this. I normally like to use it right after applying foundation just to kind of set the structure for the skin, especially on days where I'm doing a little bit more of a glam look. I will layer the two, so I'll use this underneath to kind of sculpt underneath, and then I'll set the whole thing, and then I will go in with a powder bronzer on top just to kind of add a little bit more warmth to the skin. I just feel like it photographs really beautifully. But if you're doing more of like an everyday look and you just want to keep it fresh and glowy, you could use this alone all over the perimeters of the face, and it looks beautiful. I'm just gonna lightly take whatever's left on my brush that we used for translucent powder and just kind of lightly press over that, because I do have a powder bronzer I want to recommend as well. So if you follow me for a little bit, you might have seen some videos where I talk about finishing powders. Finishing powders just kind of bring life back into the skin after you've used a setting powder. They usually have a little bit more of a baked formula, and they have a sheen to it. I have 2 that I love from Sephora. One I couldn't find anywhere, but I will have a link down below. It's the Laura Mercier Candlelit Glow Powder. I'll have it all linked down below because I love that one. But also during the sale, I feel like Hourglass is a good brand to kind of look at if you haven't tried Hourglass. That's a brand that I feel like is worth every penny as well, and so you might want to take advantage of it during the sale. So I wanted to show you guys this palette right here. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. They do sell these powders individually as well if you're just interested in picking up one shade. I really like this palette because it has the 3 shades, and depending on the time of year, I can use one individual one, or I can just mix them all together, which is what I tend to do. I usually focus my brush on these 2 right here, but I will kind of dip into the bronze one today. I'm just gonna run my brush through all 3, and I'm just gonna start to kind of press that all over the face. And I'm gonna do one half of my face first so that you can see the difference. But it basically just brings back like a fresh appearance to the skin, but your makeup's gonna last all day since it's a powder, which I love. So If you haven't tried one of these kinds of powders yet, I would definitely encourage you to incorporate it into your routine if you're somebody who likes to set your face especially, or if you're scared of powders and you feel like it takes away the luminosity. Try something like this. I feel like it truly is worth the splurge. Do you see the difference? Here's the side of my face without the powder. Here's the side of my face with the powder. Just kind of gives more of an all over glow, which I love. You can even use like some of the lighter shades as a highlighter if you want something super, super subtle. And you can just take a smaller brush and just use it on just the high points of the face if you want. Let's finish up the eyes really quickly and then we'll finish up the face. After that, I'm gonna go back into the Natasha Denona Gold palette. And I'm just gonna basically do the same exact thing that we did on the top lid, using the same shades, going in with this brown shade first. And I'm just gonna run that across the entire lower lash line just as our transition shade. Then I'm actually gonna take that blue shade called Python, and I just really wanna run this across the outer portion of the lower lash line. I'm gonna bring it in about halfway, but I'm focusing most of the pigment on just that outer portion. And I do like to always make sure that I'm connecting the lower lash line eyeshadows up to what we have on the top lid. It just makes everything look more cohesive, and it just helps kind of finish that shape if you are doing eyeshadow on the lower lash line. Just keep that in mind. All right, I am gonna take a wet brush this time and dip into that golden shade called Brass, which is the one that we have all over the eyelid. And I'm using a wet brush this time because this can have a little bit of fallout and I just don't want too much. I'm just gonna run that across the lower lash line from inner corner till about halfway, just kind of till it connects with the blue. I actually like to overlap them a little bit. It just kind of helps it blend together. And then I'm gonna go into that lime green called Lime Chrome. And I'm gonna focus this on basically just the very inner corner right here. Just kind of make that pop a little bit more. Alrighty, I'm gonna go back into the matte brown that we used called Aria, and I'm just gonna kind of buff that a little lower underneath, just so that it matches the top lid a little better. All right, let's put on some mascara. I think this is my current favorite high-end mascara. I have so many favorite mascaras, but this is the one that I've been reaching for a ton, so I thought I would mention it. It's the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Mascara. There's something about this that I just love. It creates a very voluminous lash, so if you're not into that, you might not like this, but if you are, you will. I really love this mascara. I'm gonna go ahead and apply like 2 to 3 coats of this to the top and bottom lashes. I'll do one eye first so you can see the difference. Okay, so this is about 2 coats on the bottom lashes, 3 on the top. I just wanted to show you the difference. I love the volume that it gives. It has a really soft, almost velvety finish to it, which I feel like really matches the name, obviously. But this is definitely a mascara that I have been reaching for a ton, and I love it. So if you're looking for a new high-end mascara, you might want to check this out. All right, for bronzer. Again, this is one of those things that I feel like are worth the splurge. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer. If you're somebody who's into a little bit more of a luminous bronzer, I feel like you'll love this. Plus the packaging is beautiful. The formula is always good with Hourglass. I feel like I'm rarely disappointed with their products. So I wanted to show you what this looks like as well in case you're looking for a little bit more of a high-end bougie bronzer. I do love so many drugstore bronzers, and I actually made a video on my current faves, which I will link down below if you guys want. I wanted to share this one with you because a lot of these products I feel like you might not think about purchasing until a sale because they are a little bit more high-end and a little bit more pricey. It takes more thought, it takes more convincing, but these are beautiful products, and so I wanted to share them with you anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and take the brush that we were using with the translucent powders and just buff over everything. I like to do this just to make sure it doesn't look too streaky. I prefer more of a blended out bronze versus a sharp contour. For blush, should we do highlighter first? For some reason, I've really enjoyed doing highlighter before blush. I don't know why. I just recently posted a video all about my very favorite highlighters, so I will have that link down below. A lot of those are available at Sephora, so if you are in need of a new highlighter, I will definitely link that video down below for you. I just wanted to share with you 2 of my favorites that might be worth the splurge to you when it's on sale. So I've been loving the Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette, and I wanted to show you how I use this, and then I'm going to show you another one that I also love. I'm just going to mix these 2 right here. I love the formula of this, and I feel like ooh, that was a lot. But I feel like this is one that you can really build up if you want to, or you can make it much more natural by using just a lesser amount of product. But I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this to the high points of the face. Look how pretty it is. I feel like this side I kind of overdid it on accident, but it never looks chunky or glittery. I'm gonna apply it down the center of the nose as well, and on the cupid's bow. And I really like this one because you have options. So no matter what skin tone you are, if you tan really easily in the summer, for example, you might be able to dip into these 2 instead. But if it's it's more wintertime or you're more fair skinned, you can use these two. If you want more of a pink glow, you can use this one, or you can use it as more of a blush topper. You can use this one as eyeshadow if it's too dark for a highlight for you. I just feel like it's very versatile and I've gotten so much use out of it. So there's that one. The second one that I would say is worth every penny is the Natasha Denona Super Glow. Now, I actually really like the light to medium shade versus the fair to light shade. The fair to light shade, if you're really fair, you might love it because it's a very, very light shade. For me, I feel like it looks a little bit too stark, even on my skin tone, so I reach for this one more. And I just wanted to show you guys how this one looks when I use it just on like the very, very high points of the face. It is so blinding, but again, it doesn't look like glittery or anything like that. So I'm just gonna kind of layer this lightly on top of everything. Look how pretty. It's so good. And I'm actually going to use some of this Super Glow highlighter and just pop it in the inner corner of the eye because it creates a beautiful inner corner highlight. So does the Dior palette. I love that one for inner corner highlights as well. And I'm also going to add that on the brow bone. So for blush, I thought of two. One of them, I really like so many of the shades, so it would just be up to you what you would want to pick up. But the Buxom Wanderlust Primer Infused Blushes, they're so pretty. This one right here is in the shade Havana. I feel like this is the one that I get the most use out of. This blush range, I think there's one, is it Seychelles? I think Seychelles is the one that's a little bit more beigey toned, and the other ones are definitely more of a pop of color. So if you're into really bright cheeks, I feel like you should check these out because the color range is beautiful and the formula is amazing as well. But if you have not tried this blush, you need to, okay? And the sale is a good opportunity, again, to buy something that you haven't tried yet. The Bare Minerals Gen Nude blushes, the whole range is really beautiful. And again, it's a blush range that will have something for you no matter what you're looking for and no matter your skin tone. But this, you guys, this color, Beige for Days, if you saw this in stores, you might be like, is that gonna look muddy on me? Is that boring? The answer is no. This is beautiful. This is my favorite blush for just like an everyday kind of look. And so many people, you guys, so many people I talk to, they're always a little bit skeptical about blush. And it's one of my favorite things. So I don't mind wearing like a bright pop of color on my cheeks. I think it's beautiful. But if you're somebody who's like, I don't wear blush, no, this is the one for you. You will wear this blush. This Beige for Days shade is just the best for adding a little bit of peachiness to the skin. See? It does something. It brings life to the skin, but it doesn't look like a bright blush. And I feel like in springtime, if you're not into brighter cheeks, but you want a little bit more of a peachy bronze kind of color to the cheeks, look no further. Definitely recommend this. If you have not tried it yet, you must. And I like to kind of put it across the center of the face as well, just to kind of give that sun-kissed look. Ooh, speaking of sun-kissed, I do have an honorable mention. I've been so into this. This is newer, so if you're looking for a good cream kind of sun-kissed blush, again, it's not gonna be too bright of a color, but if you're into cream formulas, you're gonna love this. This is the Nude Sticks Nudies Matte All Over Bronze color in the shade Sun-Kissed. I've been talking about this quite a bit. It is beautiful. So if you're looking for a cream version, definitely pick this one up. Both of these kind of have a similar effect. They're not quite the same color, but they're gonna give you that like bronze blush look, you know? Let's go ahead and remove the foundation that got on the lips. And to be honest, I was thinking of like a good lip liner to recommend, but I do have a couple lip products that I feel like are really worth checking out. The first one is the Bobbi Brown Crushed Liquid Lipsticks. These are so good. My three favorite shades are Lychee Baby, Juicy Date, and Hippie Shake. I actually did an entire like swatch video on this, so I will have that link down below if you're interested in checking out the rest of the colors. Let me put one on. Let's see which one would look the best. I feel like Lychee Baby might look the best. I actually love to wear this with a MAC lip liner, the MAC Subculture lip liner. I can't find it anywhere. Ugh, I've lost so many things recently. So I'll just show you what it looks like on its own. It's definitely more of a lighter shade, which I haven't always been into, but for some reason I reach for this one so much. It's basically like a liquid lip balm. It's one of the best formulas I've ever tried in a lip product, and it's just so good for spring and summer. It's hydrating. It feels like a lip balm, but it has like the color of a liquid lipstick. So that's Lychee Baby. I feel like I want something a little more deep for today's look. Let's do this one. This is in the shade Juicy Date. Do we like that color with this eye look? Sometimes it takes me a minute to like figure out which lip color I want to use. I do think I like that, but we're gonna try the other one. Let's see if Hippie Shake works with this look. It's a little bit more of a cooler tone. Okay, well that one is Hippie Shake and I really do like this color. I'm just trying to figure out like what color I should wear with this eye look. Okay, well you saw all 3 swatches of that. I also have another lip gloss that I wanted to recommend. Obviously, if you haven't tried the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bombs, you definitely should. I feel like any of those 3 shades that they have right now are really, really good. If you haven't tried any of them, I would recommend maybe the original to start off with. And if you find yourself enjoying the formula, you can always pick up the other 2 later. But if you're like, been there, done that, I already have tried the Fenty glosses. This is a newer release and it's available at Sephora. I don't know if it's available in stores yet, but it's definitely online. It's the new Patrick Ta lip glosses. These are so good, you guys. I actually have been really enjoying all 3 shades, but I would say that She's an Influencer is probably my favorite. My second favorite is She Younger Than Me? And then the third one I like is She's Expensive. I love all 3 of them, but I do feel like if you were to just pick up one, it should be this one, the She's an Influencer. Let me show you what it looks like. Oh, and they're minty too. Oh, you guys, these are just so beautiful. So there's that She's an Influencer gloss. I really like how this looks actually. You know what? I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try a little bit of the Lychee Baby lipstick from Bobbi Brown. Just a little bit to create a little bit of a base. And then let's top it with the She's an Influencer gloss. I've never tried to layer the Bobbi Brown lipsticks with a gloss on top, but hey, we'll try it. Well, folks, I think I really like that combo actually. All right, we're gonna assess the situation. I feel like actually I really like how everything looks on the complexion. I am gonna touch up the brows slightly. If you want a setting spray, the Urban Decay All Nighter is definitely my favorite. This bottle actually is like a personalized one that they sent me a while back. I'm gonna go ahead and spritz the face with this. I will never stop buying this setting spray, and if you haven't tried it, you should. I'm gonna use my fan and my sponge just to kind of set that into the skin even more. And there you have it. There's the completed look using all of my Sephora VIB recommendations. I love how this look turned out. It is so glowy, so dewy. Oh, wait, before I forget, if you're in need of a good brow gel, you should probably pick up my favorite one of all time. It's the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. Cannot live without this stuff. I have a lot of brow gels, but this is one that if I ever ran out, I would definitely have to go and pick up another one. This one has lasted me such a long time though. All right, before I close out the video, I'm gonna share with you some skincare recommendations. I know I already mentioned the Tatcha moisturizer, but I have some other ones that you might be interested in checking out that I personally would highly recommend. And then I'm also gonna let you know what my wish list is, just in case you've already experienced a lot of these products. If you've followed me for a while, maybe you've picked some of these up and maybe you just wanna kind of see what I'm looking to buy next. And I'm gonna share that with you as well. So my first skincare item that I wanna show you is the Cora Organics Turmeric Brightening and Exfoliating Mask. This is something that I've really enjoyed using. I try to use this around once a week, and I feel like it's a product that you can incorporate into your current skincare routine just because it's more of an exfoliator, it's more of a mask, unlike a serum or a moisturizer that you might already have in your skincare collection. I feel like with a mask, you can add it to your current skincare routine and it will just enhance what you already have going on. This is a really nice physical and chemical exfoliating mask, and I just find myself really enjoying it. So when I feel like my skin needs a little bit of a rejuvenation, I will take this and just kind of scrub it on the skin. It has little beads in it. It feels really nice. And then I will let it sit there for about 15 minutes. I think you can leave it for 5 to 15 minutes. So depending on how much time you have to leave this on, I do try to leave it on for a solid 15 minutes, but you can leave it on for however long you need to. And then you just rinse it off and it leaves your skin so smooth. It does make your skin a little bit red at first, so don't be alarmed, but that goes down and it just helps with brightening and texture. I've been super into it. Also, if you haven't heard me talk about Drunk Elephant before, I'm gonna talk about it again because it's one of those brands that I truly feel like has contributed so much in my skin clearing up. So if you're somebody who hasn't really tried the brand because it is so pricey, I know it's crazy, but for me, it's worth it. And maybe you want to invest in skincare this time around. There's 2 sets that I would really recommend. The Drunk Elephant Littles 2.0, which has a bunch of little products that actually go a long way. Don't be fooled by the size. I feel like there's actually more product than you think in there. So if you kind of want to get a feel for the entire brand, I would recommend this. But I was gonna recommend this to you guys and I didn't have it, and it just literally came in the mail today. And so I'm so excited that I can show this to you in person. This is one of Drunk Elephant's brand new sets. It's called Get Even, and it had, look how fun that is. And it has some of my favorite products in it. Let me show you. So you just open it like this. And you've got the Sephora Day Serum, the Framboos Night Serum. I use both of these day and night. The retinol, which I feel like is such a good retinol. If you haven't used retinol before, the Drunk Elephant one is incredible. And then it has the Proteini Polypeptide Cream and a tinted sunscreen. I love all of these. Again, I feel like it's a good set. If you want to try the brand, this has more product in it. These sizes are larger than the minis, but I wanted to mention those because I highly recommend Drunk Elephant. It has truly transformed my skin along with so many other things, but I always go back to Drunk Elephant as one of my go-to brands. All right, so that's that. Let's talk about the things that I'm eyeing. I really want to try the Cover FX Gripping Primer, but it's been sold out ever since Tati and Kathleen talked about it. I've heard really good things from so many people about it, and I really want to pick that up. So if it's available, I will. If not, I'll have to wait. I really want to try the tinted version of the Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask. The original is one of my favorite products of all time for putting on my lips at night. I feel like it's one of the products that really helps to keep my lips hydrated. So I wanted to try a tinted version. I'm not sure which one yet. If you've tried a tinted one and you like the color, let me know what it is so I know what to pick up. Then I have the Pat McGrath mascara I've been eyeing. Also the Marc Jacobs Lash Primer. I'm pretty sure it looks like this bottle, but it's white and it's a lash primer, and I've been into lash primers and I just really want to try it. There's also a Shiseido Whipped Blush that I really want to try. A Gua Sha, which is one of those facial massaging tools. I've been really eyeing that. I'll probably pick that up. And also the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Contour Palette. That has been on my wish list for a long time, but it is so pricey. I don't know if I'm going to go through and purchase it. This is just stuff that's on my wish list. I don't always buy everything that's on my wish list all at once, okay? I spread it out, but since the sale is coming up, I might buy a few of these. So we'll see. That's just kind of what I'm eyeing if you were curious. I will have those linked down below if you want to check them out as well. But yeah, that completes this video. If there's a product at Sephora that you think I need to try that I haven't yet, please comment that down below because I'm always looking for good new products. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope it was helpful for you to see the products in action. And yeah, I truly stand by every single product that I told you about today. I feel like they are all worth every single penny. Let me know what you're thinking of picking up in the comments below. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, you can click on the bell to be notified every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday when I post. That completes this video. I don't ever want to wash this makeup off. I love how it turned out. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.